She's in the lab cooking, getting ready to destroy this. Ooh, them Kobe's fire. Them Kobe's is fire, yo. I ain't seen those. We got jump ropes. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's time. It's time. She about to let y'all have it. She about to tear y'all asses up this year. Mark my fucking words. Mark my words. She is gonna tear y'all.
While the rest of the league is doing podcast tours and CBA negotiations, Caitlin Clark is in the gym, and that clip you just watched isn't some casual off-season workout. That's a professional training regimen with jump rope conditioning, shooting drills with a legitimate trainer, and the kind of intensity you see from players who are about to take their game to another level. The contrast between what she's doing and what everyone else is focused on tells you everything about where this league is headed.
You explain in basic terms what the players want to see accomplished.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we're trying to see accomplished is, like you said, this has been a big year for us, a big last couple of years for the W. And I think when you looking at social or anything, it's just like, okay, the value's going up. Everything's
a big last couple years. Oh, so it's been a big couple years since Caitlin Clark got here. Why is nobody saying that? Why is nobody saying that? Yeah, it's been the last big couple years because Caitlin Clark is here.
Aja Wilson just said the league has had a big couple of years. And technically, she's right. Viewership is up. Attendance is up. Sponsorship deals are rolling in. But here's what nobody on that interview tour wants to acknowledge. The timeline doesn't lie. The WNBA averaged 440,000 viewers per game in 2023. In 2024, with Caitlin Clark in the league, that number jumped to over 1.2 million. That's not a gradual growth trend. That's one player changing the entire landscape. When Aja says big couple of years, she's talking about the 2024 season specifically, because 2023 wasn't a big year. 2022 wasn't a big year. The league was losing $40 million annually before Clark arrived. So when players are now demanding revenue sharing and talking about what the league owes them, we need to be honest about what actually changed and when.
Y'all do not be keeping it real.
It's going up. I mean, we getting these TV deals. And so when you're thinking about that, you're like, okay, well, let's talk revenue share. Let's talk about that and how we can implement into our salaries. Because when you look around and you think about businesses, the biggest thing is the revenue share. Like if this is going up, the players and the product is going up and we're showing up every single day, our wallet should be doing the same. And so when you're talking about just seeing that, I think the league is growing. And so for us, we have to sustain that by just getting equitable compensation.
Listen to how Aja frames this. She's talking about TV deals going up, viewership increasing, and the product improving. And her conclusion is that player salaries need to match that growth through revenue sharing. On the surface, that sounds reasonable. The problem is what happened the moment Caitlin Clark's season ended. Indiana's playoff elimination game against Connecticut drew 1.8 million viewers. The very next playoff game without Clark, 570,000 viewers. That's a 68% drop. The WNBA finals between New York and Minnesota averaged 1.4 million viewers in 2024, which sounds impressive until you realize that regular season fever games were pulling similar numbers. The league's marquee championship series was barely matching the regular season audience of one team.
And I think that is so key. And that's what we're really just talking about, is making sure that we're just united and understanding and letting the league understand that we're not going anywhere. We've earned everything.
Bro, see, that's the thing, bro. And this ain't even, I'm gonna be honest, this isn't even so much about Aja Wilson. Aja Wilson deserves more money, okay? Aja Wilson actually does get, not to the Caitlin Clark level, but Aja Wilson get people to come out the games. I mean, we had Atlanta Dream players mad at the fact that Aja Wilson had a bunch of fans from South Carolina that showed up to Atlanta. So, Aja Wilson, you do deserve more money. It's certain players that deserve it. But the fact of the matter is all this new money is popping up and everybody's asking for all this stuff because of the people that Caitlin Clark brought here.
Now, Aja is absolutely right that certain players deserve more money. She's a two-time MVP who draws fans from her South Carolina days. When the Aces play in Atlanta, you see South Carolina fans filling the arena specifically for Aja Wilson. She has legitimate star power. But here's where this gets complicated. The new TV deals everyone keeps mentioning. The sponsorship money flooding in, the expanded media coverage, all of that happened because of the audience Caitlin Clark brought with her. And that audience isn't being treated well. They've been called racist. They've been told they're not real basketball fans. Multiple players and media members have referred to them as the dark side. Clark's own teammate Kelsey Mitchell had to defend the fan base after other players dismissed them. So now you have a situation where veterans want to capitalize on the revenue these new fans generated, while simultaneously alienating those same fans.
And I think that is what makes our league so powerful, is that we know the power of our voice and our platform. And we're not going to stop until we get what we deserve. But to see it and then to hear what they're saying and it doesn't add up, I think that's what's going to continue for us to not back down, because we see a lot of things going on in the talks of our league and other leagues, they're growing. And it's like, well, if they see that we're worth the buck, why can't our own league see it? And so it's going to take time, as we know, and it is taking time right now. But we're going to continue to stand on business for what we believe in and what we deserve.
Now, what's the biggest misconception you often hear about this whole conversation?
Here's where Aja loses me completely. She says the biggest misconception is that players want to be paid like NBA players. And she's technically correct. Nobody's asking for $30 million contracts. But then she pivots to talking about what the league owes them and what they deserve, based on what metric. The WNBA has operated at a loss for 27 consecutive years. The NBA has subsidized the league to the tune of over $1 billion since its founding. The offer that was reportedly on the table included significant salary increases, better travel conditions, and increased revenue sharing once the league becomes profitable. That's not a bad deal for a league that's never made money. But players rejected it, and now we're watching this media tour where everyone talks about their value without acknowledging the financial reality. Aja says she's not a numbers girl, but the numbers matter when you're negotiating a business deal.
Oh, that we just want to get paid like the guys. I hate when people say that. And granted, I'm not a numbers girl. I'm not at all. I'm far from that. But I think the biggest thing is just meeting the fair agreement of what we are discussing. It's never what the NBA is.
I think Asia Wilson is far off base. Like, y'all are asking to get paid. Y'all, brother. First of all, y'all asking to get paid. You're talking about, oh, the viewership's going up, this is going up. Bro, you do realize when one person went out, the viewership dropped by more than 55%, Asia. You do realize that, right? You do realize that, right? And then let's be real. I would have to put in the CBA, yo, y'all can't beat the hell out of.
Watch how this gets framed. Aja talks about other leagues growing and asks why the WNBA can't see their worth if outsiders can. But that's not how business works. Potential investors see the Caitlin Clark effect, and they're betting on future growth. They're not investing based on the league's historical performance. They're investing based on what one player demonstrated was possible. That's not me being disrespectful to the other players. That's just what the data shows. When the Indiana Fever played on national television, those games averaged 2.1 million viewers. When other teams played in that same time slot without the Fever, viewership dropped to 650,000. The league's most watched game of the season was Fever versus Liberty, with 3.3 million viewers. The second most watched game also featured the Fever. In fact, 18 of the 20 most watched games this season involved Indiana. So when Aja talks about the product being valuable and players deserving compensation, she's right. But the compensation has to be tied to actual revenue generation, not projected future growth that may or may not materialize.
Caitlin Clark, because if she gets hurt, my business is screwed. My business is screwed. Like, I'm not agreeing with a lot of this stuff you saying right now, bro. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. I think you're trying to make it seem like y'all not asking for a lot. But the fact of the matter is we saw what they offered you guys, and it looked like a pretty good deal to all of us. It looked like a pretty good deal.
It's taking time right now. But we're going to continue to stand on business for what we believe in and what we deserve.
Now, what's the biggest misconception you often hear about this whole conversation?
Oh, that we just want to get paid like the guys. I hate when people say that. And granted, I'm not a numbers girl. I'm not at all. I'm far from that. But I think the biggest thing is just meeting the fair agreement of what we are discussing. It's never what the NBA is doing. It's never, oh, we want pay them what they got. No, we understand that that's not how the business works. But we also understand that we're missing within our own business. The revenue share is missing in our own business and in our own checks.
The revenue sharing conversation is where this gets really interesting. Aja keeps emphasizing that revenue share is missing from player contracts. And in a profitable league, that would be a legitimate grievance. But the WNBA isn't profitable. The league loses money. So what exactly are players asking to share revenue from? The NBA's subsidy? The investment deals that are betting on future growth? Here's what the actual financials look like. The WNBA generated approximately $200 million in revenue in 2024, which sounds impressive until you factor in operating costs of roughly $240 million. That's still a $40 million loss. The new TV deals will bring in $200 million annually, starting in 2026, which is a massive increase from the current $50 million per year. But even with that increase, the league needs to control costs and grow sustainably before they can share profits that don't exist yet. The Players Association rejected a deal that would have increased average salaries from $20,000 to over $180,000, with top players earning $500,000 or more. For a league operating at a loss, that's a substantial, but veterans like Aja are pushing for more. And the question becomes, are they trying to maximize their earnings before the next CBA negotiation, knowing they might not be around for the one after that?
To bust y'all, you know what's. That's what I know. I feel like it's too many games being played. Like people are just doing too much. At the end of the day, I feel like all the vets are trying to look out for themselves and trying to collect every coin they can get right now because they're trying to get it all in one CBA because they might not be around for the next CBA. And that not Asia Wilson. She'll be around for the next CBA. But a lot of these other people, these NECAs, Alicia, all these, man, they won't even be around for the next CBA, bro. And it's that simple. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think.
This is where we come back to Caitlin Clark in the gym. While everyone else is doing media appearances talking about what they deserve, she's working on her game. She's doing the thing that actually creates value, becoming a better player who people want to watch. That's not a coincidence. That's understanding how this business actually works. Clark's rookie season generated an estimated $85 million in incremental revenue for the WNBA through increased ticket sales, merchandise, and media rights. Her jersey became the league's best seller within weeks. The Fever went from playing in front of 4,000 fans to selling out every arena they visited. That's tangible, measurable value creation. And she did it by being exceptional at basketball, not by going on podcast tours demanding recognition. Here's what makes this particularly frustrating for fans who actually follow the business side. Nobody in these interviews will say Caitlin Clark's name. They talk about growth and value in big years, but they won't acknowledge the specific reason why 2024 was different from every other year in league history. It's like watching someone accept an award and thank everyone except the person who made it possible. Mark this. Caitlin Clark is about to have a sophomore season that makes her rookie year look like a warm-up. And when that happens, this entire conversation about who deserves what is going to look very different. So get your comments in now. Tell me if you think these veterans have a legitimate case, or if they're trying to cash in on someone else's impact. Because this is the defining question for the WNBA's future, and how the league answers it will determine whether 2024 was the beginning of something special or just a one-year anomaly.